our storage and test facility. I understand they gave me a nice rig to drive this week. That means I'm on the A-list again, I think. Let's roll it out. Looks like we got ourselves another LC500 Lexus, but the convertible this time, all new for 2021. Why is the top up? Let's get the top lowered. All right, press the magic button. Yep. I can see the sky. That didn't take long. That's better. Now we can enjoy this nice weather we're having. Under the hood is the same engine we get in the LC500 Coupe, a 5-liter V8 putting out 471 horsepower, hooked to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is rated 15 to 25 mpg. 0 to 60 claim is around 4.5 seconds. Top speed claimed 168 miles per hour. I haven't tried it. Could be. First thing we do when we get a vehicle is to look and see if there's a spare tire in the trunk, and with 3.5 cubic feet on this one, there's no way that spare is going to fit in here. Hardly enough room for a set of golf clubs and a case of beer. If you're looking for more storage in the cabin, you're going to be disappointed. The glove box is almost useless. Just enough to fit the owner's manual in. I don't know what you can stick in here. Maybe my cheap Walmart flip phone. Yeah, I'm high tech, as you can see. And enough room in here for maybe a wallet and another flip phone. That's about it. About the only place where you're going to be able to store anything is on the second row seating, which is not fit for any humans. Not if they have any legs, as you can see. Groceries and pets only. By the way, these are run-flat tires, so if you get a puncture, at least you have some chance of getting some help without having to walk. We'll be taking these out to test the ride quality later on in the video. And after checking for a spare tire, the second thing we do when we get a vehicle is take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. Got a nice triple set here, so we'll do that right now. It's dark enough. Let's see what these headlights do. Look pretty bright for being small as they are. In here, the low beams are on a wall 100 feet away. Very bright, good height, good wide spread. High beam lights up the landscape. And a building 300 feet away with the brights. Lots of light here. Go to low beam. About 80% on the right and about 60% on the left. The right to see road signs, the left not to blind everybody. That's acceptable, considering how bright they are. And here we have the heads-up display turned on. Here's what the rear view camera looks like if you put it in reverse. I thought it'd be slightly wider with this wide screen. Nope, but big enough. And all the smaller controls light up just fine. Controls on the door. And the gauge cluster. Since we're creeping around in the dark, we might as well take this out at the backcountry roads and see how the headlights do there. And that will involve a highway trip, cruising at 74 miles per hour, a low 1500 RPM thanks to the 10-speed automatic gears, and we're doing 24.8 mpg. Pretty close to the 25 claimed. On the backcountry roads, these headlights do a great job of lighting up the road signs down the road about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile. As you can see, when entering dips, it's not a good idea to have the low beams on. For that, you need the high beams. There's a lot of wildlife out here that you don't want to hit. Hitting a mountain lion I can survive with, but hitting a skunk and a low-slung sports car where they wedge in between the spoiler and the radiator, no thank you. This engine's got a lot of guts. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with this car. It's time to put this top down, and it's pretty cold outside, and I see that we not only have heated seats, but heated headrest. Okay, from now on, driving with the top down. The way it should be. That's what roadsters are for, right? When you get rid of the top, the wind noise seems low enough. I guess if I turn the stereo on, I could hear it pretty good, but I'm more interested in hearing the exhaust at the moment and the sound of that nice, sweet engine. This concludes our deluxe headlight test. We'll take this vehicle back to the test facility and continue taking a close look at the vehicle. So don't go away. It's happy hour. Somebody ran a red light. Wasn't me. That doesn't look good. Woo. Let's go back in the cabin and take a closer look. Very nice leather, by the way. This is the most important knob you will find as Eco, Comfort, Custom, Normal, and Sport Plus mode. Or is it Sport and Sport Plus mode? There's so many I lose track. It tells you what mode you're in here on the gauge cluster. Sport Plus, Comfort, Eco. But not in the order you think. We get a very nice, well-designed gauge cluster. You can change it if you don't like the way it looks. There you go. You know, this isn't cheap to make. Not cheap to fix either. Good thing Lexus is reliable. A simple to use climate control system. A very large infotainment screen. Unfortunately, instead of the control knob on the older Lexus models, we get the finger touch pad, which is very annoying to use when the vehicle is moving. You'll just have to get used to it. Doing this when you're sitting still is easy, but doing it when you're moving at 75 miles per hour, hitting bumps on the road, not so easy. I guess you'll get the hang of it eventually. Fortunately, the radio controls are easy to use. You got a volume knob, power knob, seat, track, tune. Simple knobs for that, so no complaints here. You can shift this transmission manually with the paddle shifters located on the steering wheel where they belong, which means regardless of the steering wheel position, going straight, taking corners, you can always reach the paddle shifters with your fingertips. Compared to the Italians and Nissan that put them on the steering column, which is kind of stupid. That means they can only be operated when you go in a straight line. You're taking corners that can't be reached. That is why the majority of car makers put paddle shifters on the steering wheel where they belong. Thank you, Lexus, for getting it right. How much does it cost? Let's start at $101,000, but as always, there are options to jack the price up. Nice looking 21-inch wheels, $2,650 more, but it says they're hand polished. That's got to be worth a few cents. If you like this leather with the 13-speaker sound system, $5,200 more. Behind these fancy wheels, a limited slip differential for $460 more. Shouldn't that be standard? I mean, come on. Guess not. $280 more for a cargo mat. I mean, come on. And wheel locks. Shouldn't that be standard too? If you like the heads-up display in your windshield, that's $900 more. I'm not going to cover all the options. I'll just cut to the chase. Here it is before tax and license. What a deal. First half of the video show and tell is over. Let's take this out and do some driving. Like most Lexus power steering designs, it's pretty good for an electric system. Wee bit on the artificial side, but again, it's not hydraulic, it's electric, so we can only do so much. There will not be any complaints, I don't think. I see the tire pressures are right up to spec. As we do in all of our videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps at 20 miles per hour. See how the suspension performs on impact, and we do have it in the comfort mode. Guess we're cheating. That was bump number 1. Bit of bouncing around, but didn't feel anything. Hump number 2. Smooth enough. Number 3. And the big, tall, nasty one. Not much difference. Overall, pretty impressive. By the way, if you don't want the heads-up display reflecting in the windshield, that's fine, but you'll also get the dash reflecting in the windshield on a sunny day, as you can see right up in here. Nothing serious, but it's very annoying. Considering the slope of the windshield, I guess there's not much you can do about it. Let's do the speed humps again, but this time in the Sport Plus mode, and see if it makes any difference. Here comes bump number 1. Yeah, felt that one a wee bit more. Number 2. I'm definitely feeling the bumps, nothing serious though. Number 3. Now let's see what happens with the nasty one. Yes, definitely more firm, but nothing to cry about. For everyday commuting, I found the normal mode to be the best overall choice, but then again, the choice is always yours. We're going to take this Lexus on a highway trip, and just a disclaimer here, I'm using a cheap camera that has a tendency to pick up sounds and make them louder than they really are, so when I tell you this car is quiet, and you're hearing a bunch of whooshing noises in the background, I'm not lying, the camera's lying. That being said, this is a quiet car on the freeway as long as you keep it under 70 miles per hour. You start getting above that, you get a lot of wind noise around the edges of the soft top, but nothing to be worried about. All things considered, this is pretty quiet for a convertible. For the price they're charging, I would certainly hope so. Yep, that's my fantasy. Getting stuck in the back of a dirty water truck, splattering crap all over my windshield and the front end. Terrific. If you watch my videos, you know what's coming up next. We have to stop and say hi to Tommy the Toad. For good luck. You don't, you might get bad luck. Alright, I said hello. Time to get back on the road. This engine's got a lot of guts. Ah, that Japanese engineering. This car just wants to be driven hard. As you can see, there are a lot of reflections in the windshield when the sun's facing you, but just something you have to deal with. One of the little quirks. With the excellent performance of this car, I don't think I'm going to let the windshield reflection bother me. We're now entering Dead Man Road, one of those dangerous strips of pavement on the planet. A lot of hairpin curves, no side guard rails, rocks in the road, drop-offs. If you drive quick on this road, you better have a nice vehicle like this. Otherwise, you might go over the edge and they'll never find you. And somebody did an excellent job programming this 10-speed automatic transmission. Doesn't matter if you're driving slow, medium, or quick. Always finds the right gear. Always shifts exactly the way it should. If you hit the program in Sport Plus mode, yeah, the transmission shifts a bit harder. And you get a lot more snap, crackle, pop out of the exhaust to impress your buddies, but unless you're trying to impress somebody, I say just leave it in the normal mode. Either way, the handling ability of this car is fantastic, and these brakes are just awesome. Stop on a dime and never heat up. Not yet, anyway. Again, Japanese engineering at its best. If you drop the 100 grand for this car, you need to take it out on a back road and drive like this. Sadly, I suspect most buyers won't. They'll just be driving to the office, to the home, and the grocery store. What a waste. This is the way it's meant to be driven. Put that technology to use. That was a nice trip. Rather brisk one, and we did 141 miles, getting 17.1 mpg. That's pretty close to the V8 Mustangs and V8 Camaros I've done on this road, so we're in the same ballpark. Acceptable. As a rule, I despise run-flat tires, mainly because they're stiff sidewalls that provide a nasty, rough ride. At least that's the rule, but not here. These Michelins are pretty smooth, so I guess technology's just moving ahead on these. No complaints with the tires anyway. I do have one complaint. As you can see, there's a lot of glass on the driver's side window, as well as the passenger. And in the late afternoon, the sun comes through and bakes your face like a potato. And as you can see, the sun visor is pretty much worthless solving this problem. It doesn't even slide to the left or right to help block out the sun, which is why the entire left side of my face is sunburned at the moment. With all the engineering Lexus did, you think they could have given us a sliding sun visor, like 99.9% of the cars on the planet have. This could be fixed and needs to be fixed. Also, I've seen the factory videos where the engineers explain all the lightweight components they use to make this vehicle. Yeah, look on the spec sheet, it claims 4,500 pounds dry. That's more than a Dodge Challenger Hellcat, one of the biggest, heaviest dinosaurs on the planet. Why is this vehicle so heavy? I don't get it. But in the end, I think the price tag being asked for this vehicle is more than worth it. It is a limited production vehicle, not many around. Excellent Japanese engineering. And it's not going to fall apart when the warranty goes out like the European sports cars do. That's worth a few bucks right there. If you can afford this vehicle and want it, get it. You'll be happy.